It's time to get your checking account to zero with free checking from PenFed. That's zero ATM fees, zero balance requirements, and zero time spent waiting for your paycheck to direct deposit because you can receive it up to 2 days early. Open your account with just $25 and see how big zero can be. Apply online today at PenFed.org/free checking. Early direct deposit eligibility may vary between pay periods and timing of payers' funding. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed, insured by NCUA.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
And this is the Mediocre Alaskan podcast, where we are intolerant of weak-minded attitudes that keep people from pursuing new and exciting things in the areas of fitness, outdoors, and general lifestyle. My guest today is Sadie Case. When she was competitively in CrossFit, she was one of the fittest females in the state of Alaska, and now has kind of transitioned from competitive CrossFit to overall health and yoga. We're going to talk relationship with foods. We're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about relationship with Alaska's winters. And we're going to talk about how to be happy, how to feel well, and how to get the most out of life. This episode is brought to you by LMT Lifestyle, the Live Mentally Tough Lifestyle. Go to lmtlifestyle.com for all of the gear that you need for crushing your goals. Episode 14 coming up next. Sadie, thanks for being here today. It's dark, and as it's understandable that you didn't want to do a podcast during the daylight hours. You didn't grow up here. Where'd you grow up? And then how are you adjusting to the Alaska winters?
Yeah, I grew up in Illinois, in Cordova, right on the bluff of the Mississippi. You could look over our yard, which was the river, and you could see LeClaire, Iowa. I moved to Ketchikan about 5 years ago, and my mom was opening up a processing plant, so she asked me, do you want to come help me? Heck yeah! Let's start this new business. Let's start this new chapter. I was living in Colorado at the time, and it was mud season, so spring, and I was there for seasonal winter work. I worked at the 10th as a pastry chef's hand, and I was ready. I was like, yeah, what's in Alaska? What's in Ketchikan? What is Ketchikan? And I moved here in September, which is the beginning of winter. You know?
Yeah, it's the beginning of the fall, yeah. Yeah.
So it's like the beginning of the rain, and you hear, oh, summer was beautiful. We had so much sun. And people don't tell you the sun comes up at 10, and the sun goes down at 2:30, 3 o'clock. So you have short amount of time to enjoy the day.
Yeah.
How to deal with the dark and the cold and the wind and the wet. I had the horrible moment of being, oh, I don't want to live here. I don't want to do this. Like, you don't have to live like this. You don't have to be wet and cold. There's sun in other places. And I joined CrossFit. I met friends. All I was doing was working. So as soon as I got into the gym and I started meeting people and learning, like, oh wow, there's more to this little island than just work, than just work, that daily grind. So that really helped me get out of that wintertime blues, just getting active and moving. I come from an active lifestyle growing up, and when I moved here, it all just kind of came to a halt. It was wild. It was really weird to be stagnant and not know what to do. I was scared to go hiking. I was scared to really be out in nature with wildlife. But I've never, you hear bears and wolves and wild animals, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so vulnerable out there. But through the years, I've really grown to love it. Yeah. This is my most calm winter, I think, emotionally. Good.
Well, it's off to a good start so far. It hasn't been too bad. But yeah, it's kind of the funny thing. When you're down south, you can go to the park and it feels pretty safe outside of, weirdos, but it's like, I'm going to go to the park, I'm going to go to the swings or, whatever. It's very safe, very clean, very organized, where it can be pretty intimidating out here, especially if you're doing anything solo, because you hear stories about, don't do anything alone ever, because there's bears and there's wolves and there's cold and hypothermia and what happens if you fall down. So it can really kind of get in your head a little bit. But you do a lot of hiking even now.
Yeah, even now with the rain.
Yeah. So how do you get yourself out of bed to do that? And once you're out there, does it feel fine, or some days you kind of drag yourself through the hikes?
So we have dogs, and they're the main reason why I get out and get moving. There's many days, particularly Mondays and Wednesdays, when I'm just like, ugh, we could sleep till like 6:30 or 7, like it's okay, we can miss this walk. But once I'm out there and once I'm moving around and breathing the fresh air and connecting with the sounds around me and just watching the dogs have their dog time, it's well worth the rain, the wind. I like to go to Ward Lake when it's real gross, because if anything happens, you're at least in cell range. People are walking on that populated trail, so it's just wild, the weather here.
Yeah. What about those days that by the time you're walking, which is probably now, that it's still dark and it's still kind of wet? If you're getting up around 6 o'clock, the sun doesn't come up till after 7. Do you have a headlamp? Do you just kind of go? Do you kind of just allow the sun to rise around you, or how's that?
I really allow the sun to just rise with me. I wake up pretty early and I have that moment of silence with myself and with coffee and just kind of getting ready and mentally, just, it's raining, it's okay. You're going to walk, you're going to feel great. You're going to get the dogs out, this is healthy. And then once I get out there, we start walking as the sun comes up. So it turns to be a beautiful view, and you've got the pink shining through and the lake reflection. Now we have all this beautiful snow once you start getting a little higher. So I don't know. I just trust in myself and in nature, and I'll be okay. I'm not there to disturb anything. I'm just kind of there to enjoy as everything else is. So I just, you go with the sun, you go with the universe, the weather, whatever.
Where did you live in Colorado? I imagine that some of your morning habits, your outdoor habits in Colorado had to be pretty cool. I was born in Colorado and spent a lot of summers there. Gorgeous. But how has that kind of changed Colorado, Alaska? They're both pretty great places.
Yeah, they're both wonderful. They both have their beauties and their disturbance. In Colorado, through the winters, I was living in the mountains. I was living in Eagle, and that's about 20 minutes from Vail.
Okay.
My morning routine was to wake up, get to work, take the ski lift to the top of the mountain at 5:30 in the morning, and it was the first feeling you get is just, oh my gosh, like, why are we on this ski lift? It's so early, it's so dark. But the first movement you're doing is hopping off that ski lift and riding your board or your skis to the restaurant. You unstrap, delayer yourself, and then get to work. And that was probably the most wonderful way to wake up, to instantly be active and moving. And once we moved to out east to Rush, I lived on a big farm, so my morning routine was much different. I would wake up and let chickens out, check on the greenhouse, pick our food for the day, fetch eggs for the day, and still moving in some way. So my morning routine, I've got to move no matter where I am.
What would you say to someone who has a difficult time getting up, whether it be, man, woman, whoever, who just can't on those dark days, those wet days? What would you say to them? Like, what's the benefit? Why is it worth it to get out?
It brings so much happiness. You have a moment to, whether you're with someone or whether you're alone, you have a moment to really reflect and think about your day, and even just like, your past few days or what's to come. It's worth crawling out of your warm, cozy, snuggled bed that hugs you all night long. Once you get out there and you just start breathing that fresh air, I think you're going to know why it's worth it. You wake up early.
Yeah,
You get going pretty early.
yeah. Get going early for school, and then during the weekend, it's just one of those. Why not? You don't live in Alaska to stay inside and watch TV.
No, it's
but
fun.
it can be tough. It can be tough sometimes to get up. I've been reading a lot, and then about diet and exercise and things like that. And I was never someone who didn't eat or who ate really poorly. I just thought, well, I don't eat fast food and I don't drink soda. So I figured that's pretty good. I'm pretty solid. So I thought that maybe if I was going to improve my health a little bit more when it came to diet, it was like no fast food and then everything else is like salads. But you can really be creative with that, and you feel better. It was weird that I don't remember like a specific moment, but I got to the point where whatever food that I really liked, it tasted good, but long term it just kind of sit like a rock and it didn't feel good. Now I like the foods that make me feel better. So it's not like, okay, peppers are bland or they're vegetables. No one wants to eat vegetables, right? But they make me feel good. So the body's like, yes, I want this. And that was so strange and bizarre. It made sense. You're not a nutritionist. You don't have a degree, you're not a doctor, but you eat really, really healthy. How and why, and has it always been like that? How did you get to be such a... Tell about your diet first, like things you eat, things you don't eat. You cook yourself, you bake, you do all that stuff, and what benefit has it had for you?
Sure. So, growing up, it's not that we weren't allowed sugar or candy or chocolates or soda. It's just it wasn't in the house. So the temptation was never there for those silly foods, those non-existent, non-nutritious, delicious foods. And when we would go to friends' house, we would have TV and we would have popcorn and candy bars.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always go home so sick. I would have that sugar rush, and I remember just being like 8 years old and jumping off the walls and screaming and playing and laughing, and then just crashing.
Mm-hmm.
And I never felt that way when we were at home living. Like my parents, well, they were divorced, but we had a really well-balanced life through emotions, nutrition, activities. Everything was just, we're having a protein, we're having a vegetable, and we're having a starch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real Midwestern to have a potato, green bean, and a steak or some chicken. And everything's grilled or baked. So I grew up eating like that, and then it came time to graduation. I didn't know what I wanted to do. My dad told me, you're going to go to the military, you're going to go to school. I'm like, well, I really have a hard time being told what to do, and not just in a calm way, but if someone's kind of yelling at me or just trying to push my buttons, trying to get me to break through these walls that I hold up, I don't respond well.
Mm-hmm.
And that could have been the best thing for me was to do the military. But in my mind, I thought, I really love food. I grew up like cooking with family and always just touching food, picking food, cleaning it, snapping it. Food was just a way of emotion and conversation. I was thinking about this question today, just thinking like, how is he going to ask me? And I started crying because of not falling, but my eyes were swelling and watering, and I thought, man, food holds so much emotion for me. So I went to culinary school, and I took a degree in pastry arts with a second degree in culinary. I went to August Lescaf here in Boulder, and I went from being a healthy, athletic human to just loving laminated dough, puff pastries, beef bourguignon, just delicious, rich food.
Yeah.
And Chef Amy, she would say, I want you to taste everything. Just taste what you're creating. I would taste it and I can't waste this. I gotta eat all 12 of these donuts, or I gotta eat all of these croissants or these Neapolitans. So it was a big game changer going from just a very simple way of eating proteins, veggies, and fats to now I'm introduced to saturated fat and flour, and just all this dough, and then chocolate and sugar. I felt like I was in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory when I was in school. It was like, oh my gosh, what is this food? And I gained so much weight. I lived in Boulder. I was active. We were hiking, but I could not walk off the croissants and the donuts and just all like delicious that I was eating. So I gained a lot of weight. I gained 25 pounds. I went from 125 to 150 in 8 months. And
Wow.
it was, I came home for Christmas and my mom's like, oh girl, you enjoyed school. And I thought, I did enjoy school. I learned so much, but I didn't understand that she was telling me, you enjoy that food. And it really turned things around for me. I thought, I gotta get back to how I used to be with food, have a better relationship and not be so dependent on the rich foods and be more dependent on the foods that are going to make me live and they're going to put good in and I'm going to feel good eating them.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
So I started just slowly taking out that naughty little sugar friend and putting more veggies in my diet. And when I joined CrossFit, we're very blessed to have the coach that we have who cares about what we are and who we are, what we do, how we fuel ourselves. And he talked to me about, what do you do here? I said, nothing, I just work and come here. And he told me, the CrossFit kind of like lifestyle of food is paleo-ish with your added carbs or starch, rice, bread, whatever you like. And I thought, okay, bingo, like here I am in the right spot, getting back to the right mindset that I have with food. And it helped me to join the gym and get back in touch with why I enjoy food. So I went back to cooking with real food, making donuts with sweet potatoes instead of flour, or making like little cheese balls with cashew and nutritional yeast versus cheese, dairy, and sugar. So that's really flipped it for me. And it's not till recently where I've had a kind of a negative relationship with food, because you hear, count your macros, no dairy, paleo, gluten-free. What is gluten? Are you gluten-free or are you celiac? There's just all these labels for food. And I counted macros. I've tried to eat mindfully and wholesomely. And I'd always go back to just like, why do I have to worry about putting a number in my phone to make sure that I hit a goal of my carbohydrates? Or why am I stuffing my face full of this meat when all I really want to do is eat an apple with some peanut butter on it? So I mean, it's still food, but it's a different look at it, and I think you're always evolving with these diets that are out here. And it's up to you to really take control. And don't get me wrong, counting macros is great. If you have a goal and you have something that you're training for, go for it. But if you're just living to live a healthy life, I just don't think any one particular diet is correct for anyone.
Yeah.
You really just got to listen in and hone in on yourself and take responsibility for your own belly and your own cravings.
Yeah. That was one of the main things that when you start to change your diet, it's a whole bunch of don'ts. Don't have this, don't have that. And it seems like, you almost get defensive because, well, I love this. This is really good. I really enjoy eating that. Yeah, why? And so it's that curiosity. Well, I'm going to be bad and I'm going to have this. But paying attention to how you feel when you're eating well, and you're not lethargic and you have energy and you're sleeping well. It's, man, I feel really good, and focusing on that. So then if you want to have something kind of indulge or have your cheat meal or whatever, then it's fine. Like I'm not going to be an Olympian, so I don't have to worry about every little thing. I'm more conscious about it. And then you have that. And then after a while, I'm not super awesome with diet. Like I eat pretty well, and I'm eating better, but just feeling good. And then now I find those indulgences are fewer. I don't. It doesn't appeal to me anymore. I like feeling better more than I want to. Have a bag of Skittles. I used to have Skittles in high school. That was my thing.
Skittles.
I just loved Skittles. Yeah, I would never get the huge bag, but you see kids in high school now. It's just sugar. It's so much.
Snacking on Sour Patch Kids, and Swedish Fish, and potato chips. I know, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Because they don't even. Maybe they do, but some of them don't even know how good you can feel.
Yeah.
They think you feel good until you really feel good. And then you're like,
yeah.
There's something to those vegetables.
Yeah. Well, in high school, you don't consider the future much. When you're a freshman, you think about, the next hour, next 2 hours. By the time you're a senior, you're starting to think, okay, well, what am I going to do next year with my life? But as far as like diet and advice that teachers and parents and people tell you,
just don't talk about it.
Yeah. They take out, certain, the sodas are on timers, or you can't have soda in school, or they change the cafeteria menu. They're still going to, go down to the store and get it themselves, or somehow they're just going to bring it themselves. And it's sad. And, reading the stats about 1 out of 2 Americans has a chronic disease or will have a chronic disease or something like that. And there's so much, the diabetes going up. And
the diabetes is, it's terrible. It really hits me when someone is a type 2 diabetic. My dad is type 1 diabetic, so his pancreas failed and he was diagnosed at 42. So he had this long life of living carefree, and, we never ate terrible, but I'm sure we indulged here and there. And here he is, type 1 diabetic, and you hear someone who is pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic, and they have the choice to change their diet. They have the choice to be healthy and to possibly live a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And some of them take it and they run with it, and they do everything that they can to be the healthiest version of themselves. And some of them are like, I could just eat this insulin, or I can have this sugar cube.
Yeah.
I can cover this up with this.
Yeah. It's treat the symptoms rather than the cause.
Yeah.
And the pharmaceutical companies, you look at TV, the commercials, it's just treating symptoms. It's not, hey, you need to exercise and you need to watch what you eat.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated and sleep. Like simple things that you can control. It's like it's out of your control. Like, oh, we are destined to have something like this, rather than like, no, you can avoid this. You don't have to go through this.
You don't have to at all. And then they have, you have a medicine that can cover up the symptoms of another medicine that you're taking. And it just blows my mind. It's like, just eat the rainbow, just enjoy food, enjoy good, colorful food, and your life is going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be healthy. It's like, live for your babies, live for yourself. Just come on, be healthy.
Yeah. There's so many people that are sick all the time and they don't know why and this and that. But yeah, I grew up in even though we lived in Alaska, it was still some of the Midwest sort of sensibilities. We moved up from Colorado, a lot of the same sort of, dietary type things. And my parents said I could have 1 soda a day if I wanted to. And then I stopped drinking soda during cross country season and then basketball season. I just stopped drinking it because it was fine. But I know those people who, I don't know what the difference is if I was lucky or if I was smart, or I don't know. I just feel like I really dodged a food bullet.
There are just different groceries in your pantry.
Oh man, it's one of those things by chance. You never know when or how things are going to happen, and you're lucky that you kind of escape some of those things. But man, I'm very grateful that I've never had the doctor say, "Hey, well, you got to do this, otherwise you're in trouble."
Yeah.
And that's man, it's scary. But what are some of the best things you like about Ketchikan?
Oh man, I love how small it is here and how you can go anywhere and see someone that you know. Nobody's gonna let you have a bad time. People care about everyone here. It's so small. It's so everyone kind of takes care of each other. I love that you can pull over on the side of the road if you have to. I mean, you can just pull over and take a phone call, respond to anything, just pull over and take a beautiful photo of the scenery that we have. I love that you can escape into nature for as long as you want, and you're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to come back. You're not, if you're prepared, you're
Yeah,
going to come home.
yeah.
I think it's super cool that we have these forest cabins, and you can slip away and be alone for a day, or you can
Mm-hmm.
have friends there to be with you. It's just, this is a place where you can really connect with yourself, with nature. You can get close in on a community, or you can totally stay apart and just be your own hermit in your own little home.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I love this place.
Yeah. There are people that say that it's too small and you don't have stuff and this and that, but I would much rather have rain and darkness than I would traffic.
Me
Just
too.
that
They just
hum of
haven't been
traffic
here
all the
long
time.
enough.
Oh man, but yeah, there are times, you look outside like, okay, I could use some sun. I'd like to see the sun
Yeah.
today. Just even if it's going to be cold, just please let me see the sun.
I
All
think
right,
we
I'm all
were
right.
all like that a few days ago, and then yesterday we had that beautiful sunny day, and it was just, everyone's out and about,
Yeah.
and they have that smile on their face, and we all know we're all right here with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
It's-
needed that sun.
It's funny how you can go a week and it's just going to be rainy. Like you don't even notice it. In the same way when I was in California, you just don't notice that every day it's sunny. You just assume it's going to be that.
Yeah.
After a little while, I wouldn't mind some clouds. I wouldn't mind some rain. Then up here, it's the opposite. Like, hey, whoa, it's been really dark. Like the sun only kind of came up today. It really never looked like it got light. But yeah, like you said, it's the people that you have here in the community and the support. The gym is great. Being involved in things is awesome. It totally makes it worthwhile. And it seems like it's more 10 to 12,000 people here, but sometimes it seems like more because there's so much going on. There's always events and festivals and fairs and things to do, which is pretty nice. People understand to get through it together. You got to do things together.
Definitely.
But what about CrossFit goals for you? You did the competition and you were one of the fittest females in Alaska. What are your CrossFit goals going forward?
Going forward, my CrossFit goals are just to be happy and healthy in here. I had a time where it was very competitive, like that fire was just burning inside me, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is what I can do with all my strength. I've always been really strong, and I never knew what to do with it. So here I am in this wonderful small box, and I can just throw some weights around and throw my body over that bar, and things are grooving. And yeah, I got really competitive in a quick amount of time, and my weights progressed and my cardio progressed. And then I don't really know what changed, but I started, I don't want to say get burned out because I never truly disliked CrossFit.
Yeah.
I just was like, okay, I've been doing this for 4 years, and here I am. What do you want to continue? Do you want to continue to be this competitive? And you're 24, you're kind of in your prime. You can keep going, or you can see what else you can do with yourself and your body and your life. And CrossFit's not going to pay my bills, It's not. I can love it as much as I love it, but it's not going to take me anywhere besides my health.
Yeah.
And I had moments of just feeling really sore and cranky, worn down, no matter how much I would sleep and no matter how good I would eat. Whether I was counting macros to kind of mask this feeling of just not feeling good, thinking that it's my nutrition, when in reality, I'm just tired, and I don't think it's natural to put your body through the intensity that I was doing every day, but that's what I wanted for that moment. So I was doing it as safely as possible. I just decided one day, like, I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to work out less. I started yoga, which is the complete opposite of CrossFit. So I thought, I'm going to try something totally different. And now I come to CrossFit 2 or 3 times a week. I bang out what I can in that 1 hour or that hour and a half to play around. But I'm doing more and I'm being outside more and trying to learn yoga and meditation. Just the complete opposite of go, 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 which is my natural personality. And now it's like, find that calmness, find that chill mode. Yeah. And just nourish your body and your soul in the best ways that you can. And for some people, that's CrossFit 6-7 days a week. But for most people, it's we come here to be healthy. And I think it's real easy to take that I want to be healthy to a whole new level. Just, I want to be the best.
Well, there's the healthiness. Chu and I talked a lot about when he was up here. There's like the physical fitness type health, and there's also like the soul type health. And when you're doing a lot of things, I feel good as a person. Like, I'm strong, but like also strong of mind and of soul. I just feel really good, like all the way down. Okay, I'm lifting big weights, and I got a really good workout. So for that hour and a half, everything was awesome. It's just that day in, day out for the entire time feeling good. And it, like you said earlier, like kind of evolving. Like, this was my thing for a little bit. Now I'm moving that a little bit, and I'm replacing some of that time with something else, like the yoga or something. I used to run a lot, did a couple marathons, and I was like, I'm done with that now. But even outdoors, you kind of go through phases of hunting or fishing and back and forth, and just there's so much to do. And rather than do this is the one thing that I'm going to do after 30 years, like, I wonder if I should have tried something else. But it's nice to, if you're, like you said, not going to pay the bills, or you're going to be a professional in it, you might as well experience some other things and find what makes you happy. So
find some more, just some more joy that can brighten your life and brighten your inside. It's just nourish yourself in every way possible.
Well, anything to add in closing here? We got pretty good stuff so far.
Oh, unless you have any more.
That's about what I got here.
Wonderful.
So yeah. But thanks for meeting here. It's a Sunday evening after dark at the gym. It's only 4:30 though, so it's pitch black. Yeah, it's been dark for a little bit. But that's the winter here.
Yeah,
that's what we signed up here. At least it's not 20, 30 below.
Yeah.
That would be pretty miserable. Yeah. A little more sun, but a lot more cold. Well, thanks, Sadie. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here, and we'll call that episode 14 of the Mediocre Alaskan Podcast.
Thank you, Jeff.